Do you feel like you got money on your head?
I done heard a few rumors in the streets, but yeah, something.
Yeah, because I.
So you get the most love in your city, but you also got the most hate in your city.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50, yeah.
At the popular Jacksonville drill rapper Charles Jones, who performs under the name Foolio, was shot in the foot.
Nigga, I know niggas mad I ain't it. Niggas mad I ain't on gay. We can talk about niggas, yeah.
But they're not gonna stop and tell you it doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
What are you doing to take safety precautions to stop this from happening?
Buy more guns and shit, bullets and...
A birthday celebration that took a turn for the worst. Now cars filled with bullet holes are at the center of an investigation to find out why famous rapper Julio Foolio, who just turned 26, was shot early this morning.
What do you think happens, or believes happens, when someone passes away?
Believe you go to heaven, or you get reborn again.
Yeah, that's love, bro. I'm gonna be here for sure. I ain't gonna know it. I'm a demigod, man. You can't get me.
Where'd you get the demigod thing from?
Hey, Yo Squad, why are you back with another video, man? Julio Foolio was the rapper who best showed the future for Jacksonville's rap scene. Because of how bad things were where he lived, he wrote rough bars that showed his life on the streets. Everyone who had been through a hard time could relate to his music. But on June 23, 2024, he died tragically, just 26 years old. His hard life inspired his music. It got a lot of attention that Foolio had a history of fighting with UNAs and was involved in the nasty fight between the ATK and KTA gangs. It also pretty much ensured that he would never reach his 30s, which is really sad. Let's skip the play and get right to the point. Today we're going to show you the whole chain of events that led to Foolio's death. Chuck Andrew Jones was Julio Foolio's third child. He was born in Jacksonville, the place he would come to represent. Foolio had his own special problems as a child, and you can hear some of those problems in his music. Street was around every corner, desensitizing the young Charles Jones. A lot of the trouble on the street happened because Foolio lived in the Hilltop Village apartments, which is one of the worst places in Jacksonville. Bullets would fly in every direction. People of questionable values constantly walked the streets, and substance consumption was the norm. This wasn't just randomly that he watched, it was directly affecting him. When he was a jit, Foolio saw one of his best friends shot before his eyes. This was the moment when he understood that he wasn't living a normal life. With his childhood innocence ripped away, Foolio had become a harder, tougher version of himself to live. Shortly after he watched his friend take a bullet, Foolio chose to get a firearm of his own. A couple years later, he went through another horror when his father got into a fist fight with another man and ended up losing his life in the aftermath.
He had got in an altercation with somebody. He beat somebody up, right? And I guess after he beat the person up, the person couldn't take the ass whipping, so they shot him. You know what I'm saying?
All in all, Foolio lost about 15 friends and loved ones by the age of 20, and each loss left a deep scar in his mind that stayed with him to this very end. Now, the most painful moment of all came when he was in the 9th grade. After getting suddenly attacked and left with a bullet that nearly robbed him of his ability to walk, Foolio started to wonder how his life had gotten to this point.
I walked through the cut. I'd say probably like 5-10 minutes later, somebody pop out the cut, go boom, boom, boom. I got hit on my hip, and my hip popped out of place, and I was just crawling.
He thought about going back to school, but because he was involved in the shooting, the school refused to let him re-enroll. Throughout his childhood, Foolio had turned to music as his only escape. He had a SoundCloud where he posted his raps, but he didn't really take it seriously. When he realized that his school didn't want him around, Foolio knew that he'd end up in prison if he didn't find something useful to do. This was when he started to focus on his rap career. The year was 2014, and even though he was mad talented, Foolio struggled to get noticed at first. He's talked about his videos receiving hundreds of views at best, but this slow start wouldn't last for long. In 2016, 2 years after he took his first baby steps into the rap game, Foolio released Coming Up in collaboration with Stunt and lost all of the Jacksonville, stood up and noticed the furious new rapper on the block.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just like got to a point where I wasn't getting views like 100,000. Like, I was like getting like 1,000 views, 500 views at first. Then I wasn't picking up views and steam. I dropped my first real video. It's called Coming Up with me and like 2 of my other friends. They got like 300K, 400K. That one I was like, oh yeah, it's lit. I could like turn up for real.
This was also the first real video, and the grainy footage fit right into Foolio's style. With its slippery, confident flow, the young rapper was able to make his mark on the growing Jacksonville drill scene. But unfortunately, danger was looming on the horizon. This is around the time that the era first started. Pretty soon, he was feuding with the rival gang called ATK. These two gangs were notorious in the Jacksonville area for their violent ways, but Foolio felt like he needed protection after people started recognizing him when he released his first few singles. Foolio had bona fide hits that put him on the map after being attacked in his teens and seeing so many loved ones lose their lives to guns. Foolio wasn't about to take any chances. This is why he and some of his fellow Jacksonville rappers decided to form TUH. However, the acts were also major players in Jacksonville, and their leader, Young, and had a reputation for beating people up and then bragging about it in his music. His group started a long, deadly feud with the KTT, and the two gangs fought for territory as they reportedly ran their businesses and tried to take control of the city in 2017. Foolio's pain from when he was a kid came rushing back when his cousin Zion Brown was gunned down. Police nabbed DeAndre Thomas, who was known for hanging with Ace in connection with the crime. The beef was only getting worse from there, with both gangs shutting up as they saw the beef heating up.
Zion Brown was the only adult in the home, along with two teens, a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old boy. Today, police said DeAndre Thomas was. They charged him with.
In 2018, the KTA fired back at young Ace and his boys in the drive-by killing. Supposedly, Ace was hanging out with his brother and two friends for his birthday when a storm of bullets fell down on him out of nowhere. Ace got hit 8 times, but what probably hurt him more was the loss of his friend and his brother.
So that altercation, there was and all of your people that were with you, your friends, and one of your brothers died, and you were the only one that survived.
Yep. Everybody thought that the attack came from the KTS, and when Foolio started talking smack on social media about it, Ace got all the proof he needed.
Breaking overnight, Jacksonville police have arrested the only surviving victim of the quadruple that happened near the St. John's Town Center earlier this week.
Police say Kenyatta Bullard, who is also known by his rapper name Young and Ace, is charged with probation. Last October, Bullard was sentenced to 31 months probation after appearing before a Clay County judge and pleading no contest to accessory after the fact.
A year later, each rapper openly reacted to the attack in their own way. Foolio released Crooks, one of his most famous songs, in which he talked about the conflict and bragged about it and his role in it. Ace, on the other hand, released a song called Pain, a hard-on-his-sleeve type of track that spoke plainly about Dylan and his problems in 2019. Ace allegedly chose to avenge his brother and friends properly. He wanted to give Foolio a taste of his own medicine, which meant that Foolio's little brother, the 16-year-old little BBI, was on the line of fire. BBI might have known the danger that came with the game, but he was just a kid at the end of the day, and even though he wasn't Julio Foolio's real family, they were like blood.
Erupts inside a Northwest Side apartment complex. It leaves this year-old. Neighbors say that it sounded like a war zone.
Sadly, BBI became the next casualty in a beef that was getting more intense by the day. It happened on a cold February night. And pretty soon after, ATK rapper Quisso released an album with deceased KTA members on the cover. Several tracks on the album referenced Quisso slammed KTA members, and there was at least one mention of him smoking BBI. But the thing is, Five saw this and thought this dude definitely had something to do with it. So they arrested him and charged him with the homicide a few months later.
Well, a couple months later, there was a rapper named K-Sue.
Yeah.
Who basically was posting videos bragging about, different KTA members, or whatever you want to call it, and he talking about smoking Bibby.
Yeah.
And he actually got arrested for the Bibby.
Yeah.
On January 16, 2019, rapper Willie Addison, known as Bosco, was taken out and 5 others were injured in Spring Park. The incident happened as the group just left a rap music event at Paradise Gentlemen's Club on Bay Mills Road. 2 weeks later, Dean Rothamel was shot while riding his bike on Emerson Street. Rothel was hit by a straight bullet during a fight between cars.
I guess 2 or 3 cars pull up on the side of us, side our car over 100 times. My son in the front seat, my son in the back, in the head 3 times, my nephew several times, couple more passengers in there with several times, numerous of times.
Then on January 15th, 2020, 23-year-old Charles McCormick, also known as Lil Buck, was shot in Arlington during a daytime ambush in a shopping plaza. Everyone knew that the beef was about to reach a whole new level, and in 2020, Eugene Ace decided to rub salt and Foolio's wounds. You could tell that he recovered from the pain of their loss when he released the track Step Harder, cause he dissed Foolio and his gang like there was no tomorrow. While he wasn't exactly over the stuff he gone through, the track showed that he was ready to make another move. However, Ace wasn't going to move without thinking things through, and he knew that he had to finish Foolio off this time around, otherwise things would keep escalating until both gangs were wiped out. Ace kicked 2021 off with Whoa Smoke, a track that openly acknowledged the people Foolio had lost and the role Ace allegedly played in their demise. Not one to back down, Foolio responded with a diss track of his own called When I See You. The music video for this track showed Foolio lying down in a cemetery on top of pictures of Ace's deceased brothers and friends, clearly suggesting that he might have orchestrated the attack that left Ace reeling for months. Later on in 2021, Foolio released yet another track titled List of Dead Ops, which went directly for Axe's jugular by blatantly referencing the members that it lost. It wasn't until 2021 that Foolio felt the heart of the feud in all of its fury. This was when an unknown assailant shot at him over 100 times as he was leaving the studio for the night.
It's a whole 100 shots though. You know they sick right now. Whoever did it, they sick. One nigga. Nigga had 2 choppers, 1 me. I'm blowing back. Trade.
By some chance, each shot missed his mark, and Foolio was able to make it out of the incident with only minor injuries. The fact that Foolio wasn't struck down meant that things weren't going to end anytime soon. But what's weird is that things actually seemed to die down for about a year, but the peaceful vibes didn't last very long. Maybe Foolio started thinking he could rest easy, but what came next showed that he was completely wrong. In June of 2012, Julio Foolio was gunned down while enjoying his birthday.
We came deep my birthday, man. Everybody coming in the cell. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying?
Jacksonville rapper Charles Jones, known as Julio Foolio, in Tampa. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Riley Phillips. The rapper was celebrating his 26th birthday. This happened outside a Holiday Inn. If you could take a look at this video, you can see the bullet holes riddling the front of the windshield of this car.
He traveled to Tampa that day to party with his friends and family. A word on the street is that his girl was hanging with them too. The party kicked off at an Airman before moving to a Holiday Inn nearby, and while Foolio stood in the parking lot, a McMahon with an assault rifle started firing at him along with other hitters. The rapper's fatal mistake turned out to be posting his location to Instagram so that other people in his crew, which told his attackers everything they needed to know. Just days after this went down, Ace decided to let everybody assume that he was behind the attack by releasing not just 1 but 2 diss tracks. The first one was Do It, and that talks about how he gave his people the signal to take the shot, and in Game Over he proudly tells the world that he won the war. Based on how things looking right now, it really does seem like Ace came out on top. But it came at a heavy cost, and in reality, the invoice probably isn't even finalized yet. In a weird turn of events out of nowhere, a man confessed to ending the life of the late rapper Julio Foolio for $10,000. Eugene Ace reportedly put the bounty up on Thursday, July 4th. A video emerged of an unnamed man whose face was partly covered, and the video was captioned, "I got Foolio for $10,000. I'm the one who smacked Julio Foolio that night when he got dropped at his birthday party." He began, "I ain't showing my face or giving my name away or anything like that, but I did that."
Hey, homies, bro, I put it on everything on my soul, on my kids, nigga. I'm the one that smacked Julio Foolio that night when he got dropped at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? It was money on his head, you feel me?
He continued to tell that Julio Foolio's long nemesis Eugene Ace offered $10,000 to end his life. The man claimed that he did it for the money and doesn't feel sorry because Foolio had it coming to him. He also refuted rumors the killing was gang-related, saying Ace put that bread up and whoever wanted to take it could take it, so I took it. Rest in peace, Foolio.
Foolio had it coming to him, so, you know, I don't really feel sorry, you feel me? A lot of people think that, you know, it was on some gang shit, you know, and all that. Like, it ain't even really all that, you feel me? Like, bro, just, you feel me? Ace put that bread up, you feel me? And whoever wanted to take it, so I took that. You feel me? So, Rest in peace, Foolio.
I mean, dude seems convincing, but he could be trolling for sure. If I had just caught a body, the first thing I would do was not think to show my eyes or speak on a situation. Nowadays, you never know though, because club is a hell of a drug and everybody wants to talk, but for now, I would take this with a grain of salt. All of this comes days after a post was made on Julio Foolio's Instagram story claiming that Julio Foolio was a demigod who could never be eliminated. The post also issues a warning that the world will be shocked real soon. Interesting stuff. No doubt, a couple of weeks before his demise, Foolio kind of predicted everything that was going to go down on the song God Don't Know. In the track, he said, "How the F you going to tell that lie straight to my face is getting closer. Satan says I'm one, shoot out the way is a snake inside my grass, a thing with a can't. I'm the one who passed out the spoons and put food on a plate." Based on the out of what happened and the fact that he was with his people when he got taken out, it is very likely that Julio could have been back to it.
That's gonna be like, that shit hurt you. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
That shit hurt. Like, this a person like you would grow up with, damn near share clothes with, know each other mama. That shit hurt. Yeah.
Hours before his demise, he also shared his coordinates and exact location. This allowed any of his offs to drop on him, which is a shame rookie mistake. But it's crazy that the life he had to live led to him having to have his head on a swivel 24/7. As of now, the internet has a few ideas about who the suspects could have been, but nothing specific as of yet in terms of retaliation. Lee's bigger brother, Fizzle, lost his life a couple days after Foolio. Many people online think this was connected, but the streets are so wicked right now that it could have been totally separate events. The cops and city officials are fully aware that retaliation is coming, so they would treat every drill for the rest of the year as such. Our Foolio man, even though we know the life that these youngins lead, it doesn't make their death any easier. The crazy thing is that by following the fight, you damn near got to watch Foolio grow up. He stated that he might have been on borrowed time in the past, and your past always comes back to you. I'm out, y'all.